Hey Stampin' friends, welcome to the Joyous Stamping with Rachel. I'm Rachel Coon and it's our Wednesdays kit class. Today I'll be making another set of cards using a celebration, but this time it's focusing on the dies. Go ahead and hold while I flip and we'll get started. Okay. Welcome to our kit class today. It is Wednesday. That means that in our video today, I will show you how to make these cards. And then if you order between now and Friday, you'll get all the paper items plus embellishments for this kit for free from me. So be sure to order between this time frame, use a hostess code for some extra perks, and get to that $35 mark is what you want to do. All right, let me go ahead and show you what we're making and tell you how we are doing it. So I'm using a celebration item. Celebration's almost over. We have about 2 more weeks left to get these items for free. And the item I'm using today is a $100 item product, which means you spend at least $100 in order to earn this one. And it's called the Summer Shade Dies. This one coordinates with a stamp set from our annual catalog. I think, let's see, make sure I'm going to say it right. Shaded Summer, I think that's what it's called. Shaded Summer? I'll find out before this. But this one is great because it has the ones that will cut out the matching coordinating to that stamp set. But then you have all these extra dies that we're using in our cards today that you can use even without having that stamp set. And instead, since I don't have that stamp set that matches the dies, I went ahead and paired it with another celebration item. It's a Delicate Delilah's, and I'm using just the words for this one. And if you have these two together, this is another $100 celebration item. If you spend $100, you can get this item for free. Also, some extra products that I use that I highly recommend or suggest you getting and help you get you to that $35 mark are some of the embossing folders that we're using in today's. So here is the Merry Melody embossing folder. It's so awesome. It's in the mini catalog, and then we have this one, which is also part of the mini catalog. So it's brand new, and this is kind of called the time-worn type, and it just has this great texture to it. Also, if you don't already have it, I highly recommend getting the Stitch rectangle dies. And a little bit, I'll show you how we use these to make a frame. All right, let's go ahead and get started. And we're going to start with our first and one and only flower. So we'll put these 2 away. So each card I have either 1 flower, 2, or 3. So this one is our pink flower one. That's only 1 flower, but we are going to make this flower super awesome by building it up. And I also have some vellum that we've embossed. Let me go ahead and get everything out for this one. So when you get your kit from me, it'll look a lot like this, where I'll have all the pieces ready and all you have to do is stamp and assemble. Super easy. However, if you want to make this without the kit, be sure to look at the comments later or in the description below, and you'll get a link to my blog that has all the information you need. All right. So I have our card base, which I'm using the Blushing Bride as our pink, and Flirty Flamingo are my 2 choices of pink for this one. And then I have this amazing embossed piece of vellum. I used vellum because I wanted to be able to see through and have that pink look still with it. But vellum is very delicate, so be careful when you use it, and attach it with glue dots. Let me go ahead and grab those. So I'm going to grab our glue dots. I'm going to take a strip off and leave about 4 of them. For me, it's easier to work with this off the roll. It comes on a roll, but just feel free to tear it off the amount that you need. And now it's easier to use and hold. We're just going to put a glue dot on each corner. So I've used my die cutting and embossing machine, and I ran that through there to create this. And you have to have that machine in order to emboss. So this kit is great because it gives you a chance to play with these items if you don't already have them in your craft room. Okay, then we're just gonna line that up and attach that so nicely. Then I have a piece of this extra textured piece here, and it's been embossed with that time-worn type. And look at that, you can see kind of some words. I see like harvest, know what, but it looks like it's kind of been scribbled out. So you can't see like a full sentence, but it has so much great texture. So we are using this one. And because it's embossed, I do like to use liquid glue. Our multi-purpose glue. And flip it over. We're gonna have that not in the center, but about there. Give yourself a little bit of border here and have a higher space on top and a little bit less on the bottom. So not even centered at all. Let's go ahead and do our stamping and then we will build our flower. Let me grab my foam mat since this is photopolymer. If it was just a rubber stamp, I wouldn't need this extra support, but since it is, we will grab it and put it to use. All right, so I'm gonna grab Flirting Flamingo as my ink, and that's the exact same color as the paper as well. And I'm gonna use the You Inspired Me, and I thought this was great because this would be a perfect card for like a music teacher. Welcome, Susan. I see you're here. Glad you're here and that you shared this. Yes, I love it when people share my videos, and so we can help more friends see and learn how to make these cards. So thank you for doing that. All right, so I just stamped that right on there, and it is good, and we'll put our ink away. All right, let's go ahead and now build our flower. I like to use this silicone mat whenever I'm using adhesives. It helps it so that way I don't make a mess on my work surface, and I can use glue and it cleans off really easily. So first what we're going to do is take our mint macaroon leaves right here and we're going to crumble it. So there's no art to this, just be careful not to rip it. I'm just going to kind of squish it in between my hands. I'm adding texture to this one just by giving it a little bit of a crumble. And then you open back up. I know that sounds crazy, huh? But I love the way that looks. Okay, super easy. Next, we're gonna do the same thing to the center flower. So this die has 3 flowers. Usually you just have the inside and the outline, but we're gonna add this very centerpiece as well. And we're just going to go ahead and crumble it up too, just to have it a little less perfect. Then we're just going to add glue dots for these ones. We'll need at least 3, and we're going to attach the center one first to the outline one here. Perfect. And then we have this one that's our outline shape. However, I want you to notice, because you want this to be able to line up nicely, the notch right here on the outline. Get closer so you can see it. There's like a little extra notch right there. You'll also see there's a similar notch to only one petal right here. So when we attach that, that's how I know to line it up to make sure it matches. The rest of the petals look very similar. So we'll find that notch again and we'll line that up over and then put that in the center there. Perfect. So there's our flower, and I don't have it, I have it loosely connected just in the middle, and that makes it have that more 3D and pop-up look right there. Pretty awesome. All right. Keep your glue dots handy. We still need them, and we actually need to grab some dimensionals. I want to tell you to put this one on first so that we know exactly where to place our other pieces. So grab some dimensionals, put them on the back of this piece here. And all these measurements, like I said, will be on my blog, so I won't say them wrong. You'll see them all over there. There we go. Perfect. Next, let's grab our glue dot again, and we will attach these 2 flower pieces here. Just put it on the center, and we want to have it kind of at an angle and not quite center. Grab this one. I like to use the biggest leaf to attach the glue dot to. Pull it off. And we're gonna stick this just a little bit under though. And then push that glue dot down to attach it there. Awesome. If you want to attach those other leaves, you totally can. Lastly, we just need to embellish and use our bone folder, and this one is done. Pretty easy. I'm using our Elegant Faceted Gems, and there's 3 different shades, and I've used a different shade on each one. So we're gonna go ahead and use this, I'll grab this one, because it has a large one still. Hold on, there we go. So this one right here is kind of like a gold color almost, kind of a copper gold metallic look. We're gonna put a larger one there, and then we'll do a smaller one right next to it, and a small one again right here below this flower. Just some little embellishments to make it shine, and which it does. Look at that. Just catches the light just right. All right, carefully fold it over. Use your bone folder, and there's our first card for today's kit. Love, love this one. Super fun. All right, our next card is going to be with our 2 flowers. And this one has a really fun trick to it, because in my craft room, we do not waste gold. Gold is a precious commodity here, gold foil, just like it is in real life. Gold is precious and you don't want to waste it. So let me go ahead and show you how not to waste gold. All right, here's our kit pieces. Carefully dump them out. And what I've done is I've created a golden frame. I cut this out with our usual 4 by 5 1/4, and then I use that rectangle die, stitch die, sorry, it has stitches too, and I cut that out. I even used washi tape when I ran it through to make sure it stayed pretty straight, which then created this awesome frame that has that stitching around it as well on the inside, which left me this piece here. Took this piece out, and then I was able to use this to die cut the outlines. You kind of see the missing spots, and then I even have extra spots here that I can continue using later, because otherwise I could have just die cut them from here and skip that stitch rectangle tip, but then I would just glue that on and still have so much gold left over. And you can see I like to get them pretty close to each other, because you betcha I'm going to use these little spots to make little stars or hearts or something else. Like I said, gold is a precious item here, and I don't want to waste it. So this one I will store away with my other gold pieces, and they'll be ready for other projects later. And we've made what we've needed for this card out of it as well. You want to also have your basic white die cut with that same stitch shape, because we're going to make this into like a puzzle piece, and this will fit perfectly into here, just like that. All right, let's go ahead and get our pieces over here, and let's start making. What you need to do is go ahead and attach this gold one. Let me grab my mat out so we don't get too sticky here, with just some liquid glue. I'm gonna go around the edges and do just a very fine line. You don't want too much, because it's pretty thin frame that we've created, which you could create different sizes, by the way, depending on which stitch rectangle you picked. All right, I'm using that papaya, the pale papaya card base for this card, and we're gonna just glue that on. Awesome. Next, we need to go ahead and stamp onto this one, our basic white rectangle. Make sure it's flipped to the right side, so our stitching's out there. If we mess up, we totally could flip it over, and our stitches would be upside down, but it wouldn't be the end of the world. So hopefully, cross our fingers, we don't mess up, but it's not the end of the world if we do. So I use the Thank You Kindly for this one, but you could also use the Sending Heartfelt Sympathy. I felt this was kind of like an elegant card and screamed being more mature with that gold on there. So either a thank you or sending your sympathy would be great. All right, I'm inking that in just the Just Jade was the color I use, because that's the same color I used for our leaves here. Okay, let's go ahead and attach this one. And you guys would never believe it, my seal is almost out. So I have 2 of them, but they both might run out today. and I have it's on back order. So it should be coming. I've ordered it, but I'm not sure when. So we'll just use tiny little pieces and that'll be just fine. All right, now let's go ahead and just kind of puzzle piece this one in. Perfect. See how that matched just perfectly because it's the same die that we used to cut it out. All right, next we need to attach our outlines of our flowers and with our insides of our flowers. So I place our pieces that are on the inside, the solid pieces right side up, and we're going to place our gold pieces facing down. So you can tell because they are white on one side for the gold. There we go. Have all those pieces facing down. And we'll go around with our liquid glue now and just add a little bit of glue. So before we use glue dots, but you can use liquid glue. And I'm going to get some glue right here on this thicker part. And then for my leaves, I just do the tips of each leaf this in the center. So tip, tip, center, and tip. And then for this one, I do the center, just a little bit of glue, and try to get a dot of glue on each one of the petals, just to help it lay flat. If you have the adhesive sheets, you could have die cut those out at the same time as well. All right, we're gonna flip this one over and match it beautifully to this one. Love that. We'll grab our bigger flower. We're gonna match that. Remember, you find that notch. So my notch right here is there. So I'm gonna turn it to match this one and line it up. And then you just will have to press for a little bit to make sure that liquid glue grabs. There we go. And our leaves. All right. Almost there. You're asking me the top for my glue bottle? I don't know. Ask me a little bit more. What do you mean by that? So I have a glue holder that I put that in, but this is glue. It's actually from Stampin' Up. It's the Tombow multi-purpose glue, and it's one of my favorites. And I didn't actually love it when I first started stamping. I thought it was too messy and it ran out too soon and I was just high maintenance until I realized the art of this one is one of my favorite types of glue. All right, so now we're gonna carefully start attaching them to our card base. And I'm gonna use the liquid glue again, only because I want this to be more flush and not pop off the card. I want it to look like kind of like it's molded to it almost. So the first one we're gonna put on is this flower here. We'll put just a little bit of liquid glue. And then we're gonna place it up here in this right corner, just like that. Perfect. Next, we're gonna add both of our leaves. So we'll put some glue on the back of those. I was saying how I used to not use this glue, but I use it all the time now because I've come to love it and the wiggle room that I get with it. And I love that I can just wash my hands, because that's what I was afraid of before, was getting sticky. And that's why I love my other adhesives, because it doesn't get me sticky, my Sale, but it's worth it to get the sticky because I can always wash it off. Okay, lastly, we should add this last one, and I have an extra little gold piece as well, so I'll put that right there, press down a little bit. So this is an extra little leaf that comes with those dies that doesn't have an outline with it. It's just kind of like an extra leaf, and it's little, so it works perfect for this little gold accent here. And we're just gonna slide that in before that dries too quickly. There we go. I've created a little bit of squish, but we'll just wipe it and it will dry. Perfect. Lastly, we're going to go ahead and add our gems again. This time, I'm going to use more of the clear ones. There's a kind of metallic copper look, the clear, and then there's a kind of like a white instead of clear. So we're gonna use the clear ones for this card. We'll put one here, top one there. So those are the bigger size ones, and then I should have some little ones, yeah, on this one. Perfect. All right, grab our bone folder, and we can prepare this card the rest of the way. Oh my goodness, so pretty. I love that gold foil. And make sure you use that gold tip so you save your gold. It is precious, I tell you. Love it. Look at that shine. Oh, love it. All right, our last card for today is this gorgeous, gorgeous purple one. I've actually used some of the hand pen DSP to pair with it, and I'm showing you how to do two-tone flowers here. So we use the gold for the outline for this one, and then for this one we use the same color, the pink on pink. But now I want to show you how to do the two-tone colors and how you just do a shade difference. So this is still the purple with purple, but two different types of purple. Same with our greens here. And then we have the cluster of 3 flowers versus the 1 or the 2. So this just changes it up just a little bit. And we're using some awesome paper to make it look even better. All right. So to get this paper though, I've already cut it out with our DSP. Let me tell you how to do this. So you'll take a 4 by 2.5 piece of DSP, and you're gonna mark it. Well, you don't have to mark it. You just need to go from one corner to one corner. For this one, I marked because I had it longer, not knowing how tall I want it to be at the first. And then it made 2 pieces out of this one. So this leftover triangle right here is from this spot there. Pretty easy. All right, let's go ahead and attach this to our card front. And I just am using the DSP to attach it to, so I know exactly where it needs to be. Corner to corner, flip it, and we'll attach the rest. Isn't this paper just so pretty? That's the hard part, is picking which one side to use. If you haven't seen my other tip that I've done before, if you don't want to cover up all this paper and want to see it on the inside, you could take a smaller, let's see, let me grab one. So here's my Stitch Rectangle dies. You could take like a smaller one like this and run it through your die cutting machine, and it would create a window on the other side. So you'd have that pretty DSP would show up through your card base. It's a pretty fun trick, and I've done it a handful of times, but it's been a while. So if you can't say goodbye to the other side of that pretty paper, don't worry, you don't have to hide it. You can just make a little window to see it from the other side. All right, we have those attached, and now we just need to stamp our label, and then we'll build our flowers, which we have lots of flowers today for that one. Let's grab our foam mat again. This label comes from the Ornate Frames dies, which are pretty awesome. And I'm using Gorgeous Grape. That's the darker shade of these 2 purples. The other one's Highland Heather. And I like the darker one because it's not the card base color, but it's the outline. So it kind of ties it all in. And I use the Oh So Happy For You stamp, and we'll ink that on there. Again, these sayings come from the Delicate Delilahs, but you could use any stamps that you have that will fit the pieces to this kit. These 2 ones just happen to also fit perfectly. All right, we'll set that aside, and let's start making these flowers. Grab your silicone sheet. It's your best friend for this one, especially when you're using dies like this, right? And the same idea. I thought about doing some of this gluing beforehand, but you guys just get to watch all of it. Hopefully you don't have any plans, though. Also, really quick, these leaves make great cards without the flowers, especially since fall is right around the corner, and a lot of our cards would like to have leaves on them. I've seen some amazing cards just using those dies alone. All right, so I have this, and this is what it'll look like when you get your flower kind of still pieced together. So you can take your paper snips, or you can kind of just push them out. These little pieces here will make funfetti to decorate your craft room floor for days. No, they're not too bad. And then you just poke out all the holes if you want as well, or keep them. I've kept some of the holes on the other cards, and it's mostly just a style preference of what you want your card to look like. Because this one's two-tone, I am going to poke out those little extra holes so we can see that other color underneath. Okay, so there's one that's ready. And then we just need to poke out this one. Hey, I see a couple friends here watching. Thank you, thank you. I love it when you watch, when you comment even after on YouTube. That just makes my heart so happy. I get a notification and then I can respond back to your comments as well. So comment away if you are watching now or even later. Tell me what you like. Let me know which one's your favorite. And if you have these dies and have tried them, I would love to see your creations as well. On Saturdays, I do a post called Sharing Saturday and on my Facebook page here. And you are welcome to share anything you create, but especially things you've stamped. I'd love to see all and every though. Okay, I think that's all of our poking out, and now we just need to do our gluing and attaching. Again, flip over your outlines and add your glue. And this glue is just like we did before. And we're gonna do dots on each petal. Comes out, there we go, a dot. If it's easy for you, you can even add the adhesive to the inside of the flower, or the color in. I could even call this the flower and this the outline. But it's up to you how confident you are with your glue. And be sure to use a silicone mat, because you can see how I'm going a little bit messy with this. Couple dots here, do a circle in the center. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and attach those ones before they dry too much. Again, look for that notch. So I see the notch right here, I see this knot right here, so I'm gonna turn this one to match. And then we'll lay it flat and put it there. If you're worried about it moving, feel free to use a block to help keep it down. Okay, we'll attach this one. Find my notches. There's my big notch. Turn it. So watch, let me show you what it looked like if I didn't. It would not match at all. So match those notches. Get them lined up and press down. Use this block again under the two and our last flower. And then we just have our leaves to do. All right, here's my notch in my hand. That's why I couldn't see it. Press down. Love it. All right, lastly, just our leaves. That's the Mint Macaroon, which is the color of our DSP there, and the Just Jade. These two are easily becoming my favorite pairs, the mint with the jade. They're so pretty together, and they're just like a shade darker than each other, so they love being together. They just pop really well. Speaking of which, my nails just happen to look a lot like our Just Jade today. I don't know if you guys ever do that too. Match your clothes or your nails to the Stampin' Up! Colors. Or if you see a color in the store, you're like, oh, that looks so much like Bumblebee or Highland Heather. That is totally me and my stamping brain. I see the world in Stampin' Up! Shades. Which is great, because there's at least 50 colors to choose from. If not more, if you include all the retired colors that retired over the years. All right, those pieces look like they're ready to go. And this time we're gonna start with our leaf first, and we're gonna use glue dots for the 2 of the flowers and 2 of our leaves, and then we will use a dimensional for the center one. So I wanna start with this bottom one because he's gonna kind of be our guide of our space here. We're gonna put him right here where our DSP kind of meets. And then we're gonna grab our other flower and set that at the angle here, kind of covering where the 2 pieces of DSP meet. All right, we'll grab another glue dot Let's do our other flower up here a little bit more. Just turn your flowers. Let's add our leaf for the last one for this one. Again, I usually just put one glue dot, and I do that one on the very biggest leaf. And then because this was a glue dot, it has it easy for me to slide things underneath. There we go. Our leaf going that direction. And lastly, let's grab a dimensional for this one. I just need to place one on the back. So for that, grabbed a bonus one. It's okay. Flip it. And then you want to play with this one a little bit and know which direction you want that flower to go. That looks pretty good. Love it. Then we need to add our ribbon here. This is beautiful, beautiful ribbon. Let me find it for you. This one here, I've cut off about 4 inches, maybe 3. And this one's a Highland Heather, and it's called the Gross Grain Ribbon. So pretty. Even has like a nice little shimmer to it. So this is a great, great ribbon. We're gonna just take it and fold it in half and make kind of like a little flag with it. Then we're gonna take a glue dot and put that on where they two meet. And we're gonna just shove that underneath the flower. Doesn't sound very nice, but kind of place it nicely. Lift up those petals and put it right there. Then you can trim these as needed if they look too long for you. Just grab your paper snips and make sure you just do it at an angle and not a straight on cut to give that kind of banner look to it. There we go. Lastly, well, almost lastly, we also have this little linen thread double bow that I've already prepared. And grab your glue dot, take that knot to the dot, pinch it, and pull it off. And we're just gonna stick that one right underneath the flower and close to our ribbon as well. Some extra fun layers. Let's attach our seine with some dimensionals, at least 2, maybe 3. And put that one right here. Oh, so happy for you. And let's grab our embellishments. So we have, for this one, I'm going to use the larger white ones for these elegant fossa gems, and they fit perfectly inside of these flowers. Look how awesome that is. Love that. Lastly, we just need to do our basic white for the inside because this is a little bit of a darker card base, but you probably could get away without it if you didn't have a plethora of basic white in your craft room. Let me go ahead and just do a little bit of seal on each corner and center, and then we'll put it in the inside. All right, remember you guys can get this kit for free when you order $35 from me by Friday. And then also this celebration dies you can get for free with a $100 order as well. All right, here's this one. Oh, I just love how that turned out. So, so pretty. So we have our purple one with our 3 flowers. And then we have our golden flowers with our pale papaya with our 2 flowers there. And lastly, we have our 1 flower that You Inspire Me. I told you it's like confetti. We'll find it everywhere, huh? With our Merry Melody as our embossing folder there. Great, great cards, you guys. I hope you've loved learning how to make these and give them a try. I just have loved them. I wasn't going to get them. You could tell this is the end of celebration with only 2 weeks left. And I was like, do I really need another dies with flowers? And then I got them, and guess what? I love them. So if you don't have it yet, put them in your shopping cart, buy your $100 worth, and get this kit for free from me. All right, you guys, have a wonderful weekend. Happy stamping, everyone. Goodbye.